to my channel. My name is Angela and this is my Precious Yarnery. So I'm looking around because I'm making sure I have. Today you'll get the tutorial for the sweater. You've been asking for this tutorial for this blue one for a while. Finally got it done. It took me a while to figure out how I did it and the stitch count and yeah. Like this, I've hit the camera. But it is what it is. I'm not perfect at tutorials, guys, so it is what it is. This is about an extra large. How I measure them is from here to here. I do my chain from here to here, make sure the stitch count matches. This is about a large, extra large, in between. I use two full cakes of Momenti, and then I use all that. So you don't need 3 cakes for that size. You can make it any size you want though. You just make it yours. You can do whatever you want. This is sweet pea. This color is sweet pea. This one is glacier. So yeah, what you need scissors, you need your hook, you need a threader. I can't thread a needle. And you need a needle and stitch markers and you'll have it made. Okay everyone, I hope you enjoy it. It's not my best tutorial, but it is what it is. Okay, have a good day. Bye. So the yarn I'm going to be using today is Premier Momenti. It is 400 meters, 437 yards, 7 ounces and 200 grams. Some 58% cotton, 42% acrylic, 4 medium weight, 5mm knitting needles, and 5.5 hook. But today I'm going to use my 6 hook from Sandy, my new frills that she sent me. Thank you, Sandy. And we're going to start, if I can, of course, might have some yarn barf. So you got to measure your shoulders, and I've done that before, and what I come up with I'm going to do, it is multiples of 4, the stitch count. So it's multiples of 4, and so for a large, extra large, because I like mine baggy, it's going to be 92 stitches. So 92 chains. So you just wrap your yarn, pull it through, wrap your yarn, pull it through. Now you can make it any size you want, just have multiples of 4. And I will see you when you have your right count. Okay, so I have my 92 stitches, and I'm going to chain 1 extra one, so it's multiples of 4 plus 1, and then wrap my yarn in my second stitch from the hook. I'm going to make an extended double crochet, so put it in. Now the first row is always tricky. I always go in the back loop, always. I don't know, I started doing it, and it makes a better, cleaner edge. I just like it. Wrap your hook, pull it through 1, pull it through 1, pull it through it all, pull it through all 3. Now you chain 2, skip 2, wrap your hook once, pull your yarn through, wrap your hook, pull through 1, wrap your hook, pull through all 3, wrap your hook, go in your next stitch. Now the first, it's always tricky, finicky on your first. It'll get better, I promise. So you wrap your hook, you pull it through, wrap your hook, pull through 1, pull through all 3, chain 2, skip 2, put it in your third one, wrap your hook, put it through, wrap your hook, pull your yarn through, wrap your hook, pull through 1, wrap your hook, pull through all 3. Wrap your hook, go through the next chain, wrap your hook, pull through 1, wrap your hook, pull through 1, pull through all 3. Chain 2, I'll show you one more time. Skip 2, wrap your hook, yeah, there you go. Pull through your yarn, wrap your hook, pull through 1, wrap your hook, pull through all 3. Wrap your hook, put it through your chain, wrap your hook, pull through 1, or pull your hook through so you have 3 stitches. Wrap your hook, pull through 1, pull through all 3. Okay, and you do that until you all the way done. I'll meet you when I'm close to the end. Okay, so I'm at the end. I have 3 left. I'm going to skip 2 because I chained 2, skip 2, and 1 half double extended half double crochet in the last stitch. And my phone goes off. Of course it does. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to half double crochet in that first stitch right there. Chain 2 and then 2 half double crochets in the next 2 stitches. Two extended half double crochets. Chain 2 and then again 2 half double crochets in the stitches. So you make sure and leave your spaces open. Chain 2 and on top of those extended half double crochets. Oops. This yarn's very slippery. I do love working with this yarn though. It is very nice yarn. Okay, so you do that all the way across again and then another row, so all together 3 rows, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I did my 3 rows and then I'm at the end, so I make sure I chain 2 and do 1 extended half double crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. So then we do 3 rows of this, of just half extended double crochets. So in the first one, and then in your spaces you put 2 half extended double crochets. Oops. Maybe. There we go. And then 2 in the space. Well, 2 in your top of your other extended half double crochets. 2 in your space. So you do 3 rows of this, of just half extended double crochets all the way across, 3 rows of them, and then you keep going until the length of your, however long you want your little summer cardigan or your little sweater. So you do 3 rows of the ones with the space, and then you do 3 rows of the solid ones, like all the way across. 3 rows ones with the spaces in it, and 3 rows, and I'll meet you back in a few when I get done a couple rows. Okay, so this is the first of the solid rows. I just wanted to show you how I did the end of the row. So in the space you do 2 extended half double crochets, and then that one that's slanted, that's where it goes. And you chain 1 and you turn, and in that first one, that's where it goes, right in there. And then you do that 2 more times. All the way across in each stitch now. Okay, I'll meet you when I get this row done and another row done. Okay, so I'm at the end. I have a couple more stitches to go. Okay, so I did 3 rows of the ones with the space in it and 3 rows of the solid. So then I chain 1 and I go back to the one that has the 3 rows of the solid. That's 3 more rows of that, and I just alternate as I go back and forth, like 3 rows of the spaces, 3 rows of the solid, 3 rows of the spaces, 3 rows of the solid. So then I put 1 crochet, 1 half, get the right spot, extended half double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, so 1, 2, extended half double crochet, and then you do 2 in a row, chain 2, skip 2, extended half double crochet in that one, and then the next one, extended half double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, and then you keep going, and you do that 3 rows. Oh, that one. Maybe. Hope you can see it in my camera angle. Oh, just. You chain 2, skip 2, and then extended half double crochets, 2 of them. Okay, so that's all you do, and this is your back panel. That's all you do. You do it as long as you want. It doesn't matter. It's all about you, just winging it around here as long as you want, and it's when you get to the length you want, I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I end up doing 46 rows. You can do it longer, shorter, whatever you want. I did 46 rows. It's for my daughter. She is shorter than me. Yeah, I know. She's stealing it. That's okay. So how I got the center was I took my rows, I divided in half, and I ended up in half is right there. You know, you can't really, no, it's right there. Right there. So then I evenly made it into, that will be my neckline. And then I wanted it to line up with my post here, my whole rows, because I call these my whole rows, and those are my solid rows. I have one solid row. And you can end it wherever you want, as long as you can figure out where your middle is. And you just count and divide it by 2. And then you put your stitch markers in so you know where to start and to stop. And then to start the new row, I have a stitch marker here so I didn't lose my stitches. And it's a solid row. So you do extended half double crochets. All the way across. Until I hit my stitch marker, and I will meet you back when I hit the stitch marker. So I hit my stitch marker, so I put one more in, go right into where you put your stitch marker. You see that? And then chain 1 and turn. So you're only working on half your front panel, only one side of your front panel. And then I need to do one more row of the extended half double crochet, the solid part. So you carry on until you get as many rows as you need, and then you still do the 3 whole rows and the 3 solid rows until you hit the bottom. You'll end if you start it the same way as I did with the whole rows. And then I will meet you when you're done that panel. Okay, so I got one side completely done, and I'm going to start on my other side. I'm going to attach my yarn right where my stitch marker is. And then I just continue with my pattern. This one is the solid. 2 more rows of solid, and then I start with the ones with the holes. And I work my way all the way down. Now I'm sure you can probably color control it with this yarn, but I'm really not interested in doing that. I never do color control. But if that's what you want to do, by all means, do it. Make it your own. You know, I wear my blue one all the time. I absolutely love this yarn. It's so comfortable and so soft. So, but I don't care that I didn't color control it. So I just work my way all the way down with the extended half double crochets. I really like this stitch. So I still do 3 rows of the solid, and then I go 3 rows with the holes, and that's how so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm at the end. I have one more extended half double crochet to do, and then I chain one and I turn. Oops. Sorry about that, hitting the camera. And then I just do another row of extended half double crochets, and then I just do this pattern till the till I get it the length that I need it. Very simple, very easy. Okay, I will meet you at the end and then we will sew it together. Okay, now that you got your both sides done, crocheted, you have to sew the outside of them together. So just line them up as best you can. And then I'll use stitch markers. And you need your measuring tape. And you measure. It's about, I do about 6.5, 7. So this is for my daughter, so I'm going to do 6.5. Right from the top all the way down. And you get your stitch markers, maybe. So it's about there. So you do not sew this part, but you sew all the way down. And just put some stitch markers in. Oh, so sorry. To keep it so it doesn't get away from you and it stays at where it's supposed to be. Okay, so then you grab, I only have a little bit left of this one, and you need a pair of scissors. So you need your needle and thread, of course, and then I use my threader because I can't thread a needle. And you just start sewing. I like to leave a long tail just so it's easier for me to sew in. And you do that on both sides, and I'll meet you back here. So after you get it sewn together, we're going to start with the sleeves. Going to start at the seam of your sleeves, and I put my needle, my hook, just in there, so all my, wherever I have to sew, all my ends will be right there to sew. And then you just attach. And you're just going to go in wherever you can, and you're going to do single crochets. all the way around. Try to make them even. So just single crochets, and I'll meet you at the beginning. So I made it all the way around, and then I'm just going to slip stitch in the top of the and then chain one and turn and do that again. I'm going to put a stitch right where I chained one, and then go around 2 more times. Just single crochets 2 more times, and I'll meet you when you're done. Okay, so I got my 3 rows done. Now I'm going to slip stitch, chain 2, and turn, and I'm going to extend it half double crochet in that same stitch, chain 1, skip 1, half extended double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, extended half double crochet, and you do that all the way around, and I'll meet you where we started. Okay, now I'm where I started, at top of that first extended half double crochet, you slip stitch. Now this may not work out, mine happened to work out, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. This will be like at the bottom of your yarns, like your arm, so you really wouldn't be able to tell. So now you chain 2, turn your work in that same stitch. It's half extended half double crochet, chain 1, half extended double crochet in the top of the next one, chain 1, and then you just keep doing the same thing. It doesn't matter how many rows, it's up to you. I make this sweater 3/4 sleeves, so I just go until I keep trying it on until it goes, and then I'll meet you back when I finished how much length I want, how much length I have. I just keep going with this stitch, all like these rows, all the way until I get to about here on my arm, and then, well, maybe a little bit up higher because you're going to put a little trim, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm coming up to my last row. I did 14 rows of this on each arm. So I attach it, chain 1, turn my work, and then in that same stitch I put a single crochet. And then in that space I put another single crochet. In the stitch, single crochet. In the space, single crochet. Now I did forget to mention, when you're doing your sleeves, make sure you count how many stitches you're putting, like your single crochets, how many stitches you're putting it around. So on the other sleeve you can get approximately around the same amount, so each arm doesn't look, one arm doesn't look bigger than the other. So yeah, so you keep going around, single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the sleeve, single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in the space. I think I said sleeve in it, but it's in this stitch and in this space. Okay, I'll meet you at the, oh, keep hitting that. Meet you at the start. Okay, so I'm almost at the beginning. So my last stitch, it's in the space, and then I slip stitch at the top of that stitch. I chain one and I turn in that same space. I put one single crochet. Now I'm going to do this row and another row of single crochet, so all together you'll have at the end 3 rows of single crochet. Very simple. Okay, I will meet you when I'm almost done my sorry, my hand. I'll meet you when I'm done the rows of single crochets. Okay, so I'm almost done my 3rd row of single crochets, and then I slip stitch, chain one, cut, and that's it. So your sleeves consist of now I know it looks funny, but this yarn does stretch. You do 3 rows of single crochets, 14 rows of the extended half double crochets, and then 3 rows of single crochets again to finish your sleeves. Now we will do, and then you sew your ends at the end. We're going to work on the bottom trim, the bottom of the sweater. We're going to do just, all I did was 3 rows of single crochets. This is such a simple sweater, easy peasy. So I attach my yarn. You can attach it any way you want. And then, so at the bottom, you have, that's where you have your spaces. So you do 2 single crochets. Oh, got all my tails want to go. 2 single crochets in the space. Two single crochets on top of your, in the stitches. Two single crochets in the space, and then 2 single crochets in the stitches. And that's all you do, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of this row. So 2 single crochets in the space, 2 single crochets in top of the stitches. Okay, so then I chain one, turn my work, and then in the first stitch, single crochet, and it's just single crochets all the way across. All together you need, I did 3 single crochets, 3 rows of single crochets at the bottom of the trim. Okay, I'll meet you back after you get done 3 rows of single crochet. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of the row of the 3rd one. So did 3 rows of single crochets. And then that's it for this. And then I cut my yarn. Now all that's left is the trim of the collar. So you got to go. So all I'm doing is another 3 rows of single crochets. You start at the end right here. Touch my yarn. I like leaving long strands, long tails, so it's easier for to sew in. Okay, so then this is all on, you know, at the edge of all the work. So you just single crochet, try to make it evenly. And you do 3 rows again of single crochets. And that's it. And then your sweater is done. And well, then you got to sew in your ends. So I'll meet you back when I'm done this first row. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of this row. So there's the end. I chain 1 and I turn my work and just keep going with the single crochets. I'm going to make sure I have, you can do as many rows as you want. I'm only doing 3 rows of single crochet and then sewing in my ends, and then my sweater's done. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.